Hey everyone, here today to talk about Dark Country, trading card game that's launching on Flow blockchain here. My name is Drew Garrison. I'm communications manager with Flow. I'm here today joined by Ole. How you doing, Ole?
Hey, doing good. Actually great. Yeah, and nice to meet you, Drew, and the team. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to talk about Dark Country. I'm a gamer myself, so when I heard that we were getting this great game in our ecosystem, I couldn't wait to A, dive into it and learn more about it, and then B, get a chance to talk to you in this AMA format. Really looking forward to hearing some more insight about what you guys are doing over there. I know it's very exciting to see this multi-chain experience come to the Flow ecosystem, like I mentioned. And I mean, I think it's a really great concept. I think it's really innovative what you guys are thinking and how you guys are thinking about Dark Country. And yeah, just ready to dive in and learn about it myself and let the community know as well why this is something they should be looking at on Flow. So yeah, let's just dive right into some of the questions and hear from you directly. First of all, I think everybody would love to just get a high level overview of kind of what Dark Country is and why gamers and NFT collectors should be excited about this coming to Flow soon.
Yeah, okay. So first of all, yeah, we are working on this project for 1 year and a half. And when we started, it was quite different by the idea. And we changed a lot of things several times. And now we come up with the lands concept and this upcoming implementation. We also learned a lot as we go, and we surely can tell it is first multi-chain trading card game where assets are owned by players and designed as NFTs. So basically, we are all around NFTs. And yeah, we like part of our team is are also players, of course, and we've been inspired by Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone, and also this Gothic setting, coming with ghosts, zombies, vampires, natives, and so on. Yeah, and we have quite good traction recently. A lot of perspective growth things. We even try to get into regular gamers market. So we recently put a game at itch.io and getting more and more downloads, and even regular gamers are coming and buying packs and trying our game.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love both the games you mentioned that inspired it. And so when I saw the gameplay of this, it was just immediately resonated with me. I knew exactly what was going on. But then you're adding the NFT aspect where you actually own the assets and you're making it across multiple chains, so all kinds of different users can experience the gameplay and kind of the whole ecosystem of the game. And I just think it's very exciting to see A, where you've already taken it, and B, like where you're going in the future. I love the whole idea about it. So yeah, if you could just tell us a little bit about what inspired you to make Dark Country. I know you mentioned the other trading card games, but also I think what's interesting to me is, and maybe everybody else out there, is how you realized that it was actually a great opportunity in the crypto space versus just making, the usual game on its own.
Sure. So yeah, we are gamers and we love creating games. And I think like we've seen like Magic the Gathering was about the true sense of collecting. So you could own these cards like basically as a physical object or an asset. And on the other side, a Hearthstone was something different, fully digital. You can buy and collect, but you cannot trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to create these games that can kind of make this thing. So with blockchain and NFTs, you can basically play, own, and also trade, or even use leasing mechanic to give other players some some unique or valuable cards they cannot afford, for example.
Mhm.
And also when we started, I think we didn't see so many games on blockchain that are fun to play. So it's probably what our first and foremost driver to make the fun game on blockchain.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I really love about kind of your inspiration is that, for Flow, one of our big things is like we want to bring decentralized apps and we want to bring these experiences to users in practical ways that are fun. And to see actual game like Dark Country continuing to build new systems and to expand across its user base, I think it's a really great opportunity to really put a flagpole into blockchain and show that there are a lot of really great game experience out there for users to check out. And with the technology of blockchain and having it as an NFT, it gives you secondary market opportunities and a lot of different things that aren't available in some of the other traditional ways these have been played so far online on something like you would say a Hearthstone, right? So it's a really unique project, and I think it's really exemplifies what's great about gaming on blockchain.
And I would adapt. I think we made it to some extent because people are just saying like it's fun, it's really great to play it. They're hanging on in tournaments. So yeah, we are on the right track, I think.
Awesome. So yeah, you mentioned you're launching these new land gameplay features. So Flow will have its own continents in Dark Country where players can claim their land plots. If you want to tell us a little bit about the new lands gameplay features and what Flow users should expect in their zones on the continent.
There's pretty much of so we wanted to build the bigger layer on top of just trading card game, combining the experience of some of the games that utilize lands or virtual property or like galleries, halls, and so on. Basically MMORPG layer or something like that. Let's name it, mm-hmm. Where basically we can have different kind of players, because card trading game is quite hardcore itself, and we wanted to attract big audience as well by having different gameplays inside, starting from very simple. And this what we gonna launch as soon as possible would be this for the landlord. They would need to compete to get players play on their land. So basically they should invest into building stuff on their land, upgrading it, giving right incentive to players to come and play, like making a quest, starting a quest from that land, and so on and so forth. So this would incentivize both sides. So player will give better rewards, and landlord will get better rewards from the pool. So we will have daily pool of Shadow Dime token that will be distributed to all of the landlords, and then along to all of the players.
And then I just got to know, how good is it to have a mythical land? I mean, it seems like it's got to be amazing to land a mythical land plot.
Yeah, so land, So land will have something like mythical. It will be not many of these. They will be in very center location, and they will have some kind of farming multiplier. So basically, you will be having some better rates, and you will be more attractive to players to come and share your better like pool and reward.
Amazing. So yeah, you mentioned Shadow Dimes and kind of the play to earn experience of having a land plot and being a landlord. Tell us about these new core gameplay features. I know it's a really fascinating and kind of intricate layered experience that's creates this kind of new gameplay loops and engagement opportunities for gamers and for you guys to work with the community as far as how you're implementing these systems.
So yeah, the main goal of being landlord is to have the highest influence level that will impact, you know, the reward. And this can be done by making this land plot more attractive again, by hosting different activities, upgrading land buildings, and card PvP battles will be hosted on this land plot. So right now, game is played not on any land or something. You just play it, but eventually it will be hosted. Most of games will be hosted somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. And this will reward as well. So some of this will be just randomly distributed across different lands. So, but quests and other, I would say, activities, special activities would be introduced by land owner itself. And initial, like very basic gameplay would be you as a player can just choose a deck, like 5 cards or more, mm-hmm. Into the quest, and you just stake them into the land basically, and there is some amount of quest you can execute. You just come back and make the quest, and by that, how strong your deck is and, you know, which land is it, you'll get this piece of shadow dimes distributed daily. So this is very simple mechanic, but this will bring us more, you know, this segment of blockchain gamers or blockchain users that will want to work with this kind of passive income, along with having just several cards, and they can just earn some shadow dime. But eventually, once it will be quite competitive space, they might join into PvP battles and increase their reward and revenue.
Awesome. So I'm a brand new user. I want to jump into Dark Country. I buy my first land pack, and when it becomes available, I unpack it. I'm ready to dive in. I want to get started. What do you suggest? What's the next thing I need to do once I get my first land pack and I want to start experiencing what it means to play Dark Country?
Along with, yeah, so let's say we have this land eventually once we have it launched and unpacking is provided. And basically, I just replied to your question previously. So yeah. you need to make this land appealing for players by building right buildings, making events and tournaments, setting up quests and expeditions. But yeah, we'll have a guide for that, and you know, as usually our community is helping us a lot to bring new players, and it will probably will have a lot of video reviews as well, how to jump in and get into this game.
Great. So Flow's getting these awesome exclusive vampire cards. We're really excited about that aspect of launching. Are you planning on launching exclusive packs across different chains to make each experience different, depending on, you know, how you're approaching the game? And then B, also just tell us a little bit about how awesome these vampire cards will be for users who actually get them, you know, how strong they are and how unique they might be.
Okay. Actually, we have this approach previously. However, it is always hard to keep something unique on one blockchain. But yeah, we did that previously on Wax. We launched it when we started for our first and very small sale. We had the Exodus series, which are quite limited as well. And basically they're living only on Wax blockchain right now. And yeah, and they have own mechanics. So they might have not been migrated or eventually being migrated in the future. But right now, people understand and value these cards. So I assume this might happen with vampire cards. So in the future, yeah, I think once we move into something, some more blockchains as by design, we might get this unique, exclusive packs. But we also have these quite common like standard packs and standard sets. So we want users to be able to buy them on basically on every blockchain or earn them with shadow dimes and buy through shadow dimes. So there is always a regular set of cards, but also these quite unique per different blockchain, let's say.
So then I'm a Flow user. I'm ready to participate, and I want to know some more information about how to get into the Dark Country, the Genesis Flow land sale, and just in general, I want to participate in the upcoming launch. What do I need to know as somebody who's coming to Dark Country for the first time with Flow tokens ready to use?
So basically, we have quite simple requirement right now, and this is so we launched this separate landing page for this land sale. It's located at flow.country.io, and requirements are quite simple. You need a valid Flow wallet or address, and 7 Flow tokens on this account to be verified, pre-verified to be in the list of those who will be able to purchase on a land pre-sale, basically. And tomorrow or Saturday is the latest. We actually are going to start this check of those who already submitted form. Yeah, so but there is still time to do that.
And then just really anything else? I know you shared a lot, and really what's coming up as far as what systems you're launching and features you're adding to the game. It's actually quite a lot. So I know your probably team is just super laser focused on getting that out to the peoples. But there's anything else kind of in the future of Dark Country that you kind of have cooking right now that you know you can maybe hint at that users should be excited about further down your roadmap?
Yeah, so we have quite a lot of in our roadmap. First of all, we are the 3D version you showed in the video. We are working on this. It's in late stage right now, so soon it would be ready for public testing. We have historically a VIP or chat or closed chat group in Discord called Sheriff Office, where we test out all of the early stuff with our loyal and early community members. And basically, if you buy for some amount of cards or packs, you can get into and see something which is coming. And they've been first who ever played this game when it was early access stage. So we also plan to we want to launch along with lands and like inside of card game. We want to launch plenty of gameplay modes. So is aside of PvP mechanics like getting shadow dice because of playing PvP and some ladder mechanics, we will have PvE, and also we have this roguelike mode or campaign. Like we kind of call it endless. So
Okay.
you try to move as far as you can. So basically, this should be fun to be joining in. But yeah, first and probably the biggest and most important to us in this stage would be start to implement its land mechanics. starting from these simple ones, as I mentioned, so players can join in. And then we will add up more and more of modes for different kind of players, like more hardcore players, and PvE, PvP, and eventually we already having like guilds creating around the game.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so we basically we eventually we will introduce different kind of guild mechanics as well. Even we can see how continents would compete between each other.
Yeah. Wow. And that's just, I think that's what's great about this is as you build it up and as I hear more about it, it just really feels like, A, your team is kind of taking a very open approach and just trying to figure out what kind of stuff you can give gamers and people who are engaging in your game, what kind of modes and kind of systems you can give to them to excite them and to give them something unique and fun to play. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing you stressed earlier is like you wanted to put a fun game on blockchain, and adding these systems keeps adding new layers of excitement that people can enjoy coming back to experience. So really excited to see where you guys take this. I mean, it just seems like the possibilities are really limitless as far as what you might do with this game. So I mean, it's really cool to see. One question just for me personally is, you have all these great ideas. How do you figure out, okay, this is this is the one we're going to work on first? I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of ideas that your whole team probably brings to the table.
Yeah, so yeah, of course. We are looking into like there is a simple framework where you can put like time you can spend or amount of resources you needed. The first thing. Second is, of course, the impact, whatever you measure from 1 to 10. And third, like how confident you are that this will work. And using this simple framework, you might measure even like roughly, but by doing that among several senior team members, you can see at least what are good ideas, what are not, or what are mediocre ideas. And yeah, this helps.
Cool. Great. Well, thank you so much for kind of the rundown of what's coming and what Dark Country is all about. We sent out this form to our community, and we got a lot of questions back that people are just curious about Dark Country and just kind of everything about it. So I'd love to just take a little bit more of your time and try to knock out some of these questions from the community if you're ready to kind of rapid fire down these.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. First question, which is I actually don't know the answer to, so I'm curious too, is what data do you store offline versus on the chain regarding the game?
So yeah, as we utilize NFTs, they are all of player possession, and some of data are written into NFT. So if it's card ability or stats like mana and attack and defense, it's in card. Other than that, a lot of things are off chain. We decided, like we've been working before Dark Country in a project where we saw how it's when you store everything on chain, there are always limit. And in this kind of game, we don't think like you need to save all of the every move of a player. So basically, we have this centralized when players are just feeling the same experience they would play regular game, but they know they have their assets on their own wallets. And we might have different kind of implementation depending on blockchain, especially with lands. It's still upcoming. Depends on how blockchain works, how fast is it, and so on. So probably the answer would be different from time to time. Yeah,
and that's what's unique about your game, though, is every kind of different blockchain and just how it ends up being developed is going to have its own kind of flavor to it, whether it's the development side of it or even just kind of what's available, like from like the cards perspective, with exclusive cards per blockchain. So a little different flavor depending on where you're coming from. Next question. Will we be able to play this game and earn cards without paying for packs? So will they be purchasable with shadow dimes? And if so, can players earn shadow dimes without buying a land plot, like with real money through gameplay only? I think basically the question is like, are there other ways to earn cards, maybe with shadow dimes?
Yeah. So yeah, we have this free deck, basic deck. Like it appears only in the game. We are making basically new deck, small set of cards which won't be selling anytime anywhere, and this would be used for basically free to play like way to go. And with this deck you can try to be rewarded with shadow dimes once you play in PvP game, and once you get enough shadow dimes you eventually might buy a pack and get more cards. So yeah, the answer is yes.
Yeah, awesome. That's actually really great to hear. If somebody just kind of wants to try it out, see if they like it. I mean, give them opportunity to see what it's about, and then hopefully,
Yeah,
they love the experience and come back, right?
So yeah, and even right now, once we are still like moving close to our beta version, we still like offering full deck to try. So basically almost 200 cards. You just come and feel free to try, and then you can just find them on the market and buy out to keep for the game.
Nice. Next question. Will there be bridges built in to transfer NFTs from one blockchain to another? Cards, lands, shadow dimes, etc. So kind of, I guess the question here is kind of, will you be able to kind of bridge between the different blockchains that are featured on Dark Country?
Yeah. We actually started with this from day one, at least by design. We tried to get this. When we started with EOS and Wax, because they are quite same by technology. And by the time EOS was stronger than Wax got momentum, and basically some part of assets could be transferable between blockchains. But we found this quite intensive in terms of development. So it takes a lot of time to develop and support these kind of bridges, and especially with different NFT standards. So it's in our roadmap, but yeah, we always have something more important to do. Yeah.
On the note of roadmaps, another roadmap question is, do you plan to integrate VR to kind of explore lands?
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah. I want to go down in VR and check out what I'm building. Yeah.
Right.
Next question: how many unique recurring players do you guys have at the moment? And I guess it's a two-part question. So we'll start there, and then we'll go into the next part of it. So I guess maybe how big is the player base right now that your Dark Country has?
So I think we are growing like twice a week, at least with recent stuff, and it was over 1,000 players, at least people who joined in the game over last week, like unique one. I'm not following the numbers, but we are approaching thousands. I don't know, 6,000 or so downloads from each. We posted it not far ago.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of platform where people can download the game and auto update and so on.
Okay.
So yeah, the number is something like that.
Okay, and then the second part of that question is, how is that ratio compared to the number of land plots you're trying to sell? I guess the question is kind of around the scarcity of the lands versus the how many users you have. So I think they just kind of want to get a feel for how you feel that will play out as far as scarcity of lands versus how many users you have.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, like we want to start lands with simpler gameplay, and to be sure that we will attract more players, because they won't need to play like in a classical way of a card trading game unless they want to. So we'll cover this with bigger audience, and also we'll have this this part of gameplay also will exist on a website. So basically, you don't need to download and install the game, which might be a blocker to someone, or if they like want to use on mobile only. We don't have yet a mobile version, but overall, we will simplify and streamline this user experience to bring more of these casual players, and also design a system and reward system to bring more of regular gamers. So we work now with some streamers and talking about this a lot. So once we're ready to scale, we are just going on and doing that stuff. So basically, there should be enough for these kind of amounts of plots, enough players to be covered across them all.
Great. Love that saturation. What is the marketplace experience like for Dark Country? If I have an NFT and I want to sell it, what is that experience like right now? What do users have to do?
So we will have we've been doing this, preparing for this land sale, and eventually a bit after this we will add a functionality where you can trade these land plots on your on our web page, basically build the market inside. As we just having some wait time with marketplaces on Flow to get into. There's quite a lot of projects to get in, as I understand. So
cool.
Yeah.
Next question here. How will you maintain the value of cards? I think a big part of trading card game is obviously the gameplay, but people also like to know that the assets that they own have value that they can retain and believe in and trust in. So I guess the question is really around how will your team hold the value in these cards over time?
Well, if we talk about these exclusive and limited sales, they are quite valuable as market grows.
Yeah.
And we see that from our past sales. The packs from our initial sale, like 10x, the cards as well. We got like 100x cards sold recently, mythical cards sold recently. So it's quite clear about this kind of segment of cards. And if you talk about like those who are standard playing deck, there would be quite plenty of these, but market decides the value, and we also have options to burn them and get shadow dimes eventually if the user wants to. So they can use it and upgrade or do something else with it.
It's good. Some utility to your NFTs if maybe you don't want to hold on to it, right? That's always good.
Yeah. We had experience with, we have this, we launched something previously on Wax. It was like heroes. We also planned some mode with these heroes. So you have a deck and you have a hero and backpack with some skills and so on. So it's kind of RPG stuff. Like we call it Arena, once it also be one of modes. And we had experience like building upgrade system for heroes. People love it. They just, burn several heroes, got new one, and so on and so forth. So there's always a lot of room to have this, keep the value of items as well.
So next question here is, I like the idea of an NFT card game, but what steps are you taking to keep the game from being pay to win?
I think card trading still a game of skill genre. Yeah, of course, a deck is can be more powered, but we try to design that even mythical card, there are not many of them, so they are extremely valuable for collectors, but they are not so imbalanced for the gameplay. and basically the skill will define who is better.
And then I think it's just two last questions here. Next one is, will you integrate with Ethereum 2.0?
Probably open question right now. Like we see that some kind of functionality can work there, but we might limit with everything we want to have on Lens, especially. So by doing like this current way of going, we even tried to get into Ethereum some time ago. So there are some cards in there and some kind of migration, but we didn't go fully on there. We still think about that, and it all depends like how we design overall play to earn in this daily distribution of shadow diamond and so on. So it might be done a way more centralized than we might go into, but still open question.
And then last question here is, how do you plan on beating kind of the competing trading card games? And I think maybe the bigger question is just like, how do you, I mean, I think Dark Country already stands alone as a unique experience, but how do you plan to build that momentum to try to continue to grow your user base and just make it kind of one of the best trading card game experiences available for anybody who's serious about collecting?
Yeah, so we of course want to be visible, more visible, as I said. So we want to get into platforms that might give us better traction. So we tested it with each. We might go into Steam, like at least with our system when you connect your wallet and have items on your wallets, and you create a username and password in our system, and you can play without anything knowing about blockchain. It streamlines experience, and it can work for regular gamers. And also eventually we will bring them this power of asset ownership, so they will get into, and that's what we try to push around, as well as trading. So once they buy, they can sell anytime.
Yeah, I think that's something that if you've played with physical cards, it's hard to trade and sell really quickly. And I think that's what's great about bringing a game like this to blockchain, is that it gives you that fluidity and that liquidity to move your assets around, trade what you want, sell what you want, and keep what you want, without having to figure out how you're going to do that in the physical world. And it also gives you more access to more options, right? Because everybody's using the technology versus trying to meet somewhere physically, or even ship it online. So I think it's just a great opportunity for people who are really serious about collecting a trading card game to get into the space for sure. But that wraps our questions. I guess before we sign out here, any closing thoughts? And then if you could just let us know when users can go over to the Flow whitelist page and kind of pre-register for the packs, just kind of how that launch is going to work.
Okay, sure. Let's say, so we are open for this registration for quite some time, and there is still several days to go. As I mentioned, we'll start screening the account balances that users are like putting into the form. In Saturday is the latest, this Saturday, and our next week or so we gonna announce, like, start this land pre-sale. I probably would say, like, if you get into the list, you might just be in fast and get into our website and receive your queue number. So everything will be happen by queue. And eventually, once this round one of queue is finished and there are some items left, again, all of these who fill the form can go again, like, and try to buy some limited amount of packs from those who left. This way, we just want to give the options for those who try to reserve, big pack, but there are not so many of these, and eventually had no luck to get it. They can buy other pack, still being in, priority.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, Ole. Thank you so much for taking, just a moment out of your day to chat about your game and to hang out with me for a little bit and teach me about what makes Dark Country great. Hopefully, everybody out there watching got a pretty good feel for the game and is just as excited as we are to see them on the Flow ecosystem. And yeah, make sure you check out their game at darkcountry.io. You can check them out on Twitter at darkcountrygame. And we're just really excited to have you as one of our partners here, and we love what your team is doing.
Thank you, Drew. Thanks for having me. And yeah, it's exciting times to be part of Flow community and yeah, being partner with you.